Hey, how's everyone doing? Anthony here, AFT Dog Training. I am still continuing this series on, and I got a list of dog trainers that were sent to me about dogs that they would like, or dog trainers that call themselves positive only or force free, that they would like me to analyze and debunk those claims. And if you have a question about the four quadrants and how they're used, the reason why I'm bringing this up in this series is that in the United States it's starting to come into here where they did to other countries where, like let's say the RSPCA in England, United Kingdom, they're euthanizing 30% of their animals. PETA is euthanizing 90% of their dogs that come in. So this euthanization rate is going to continue to skyrocket. So if you do care about dogs, be involved. Pay attention, because dogs are dying every single day, and we can help them not die by not doing things like these positive only and force free dog trainers do. By now, cancer culturing, balanced dog training seminars. If people want to pay to go to a seminar or go to this seminar here from Jean Donaldson, which is going to be the topic of today, let them pay for it. That's what this whole country is about, free market. But if you're going to cancel culture, balanced dog trainers, like Jeff Gelman's seminar was canceled due to positive only and force free advocates, then we surely have to do this. The funny thing is the hypocrisy. Ask yourself, did the positive only and force free dog trainer or organization or pet guild put out a statement stating that this is not dog training and they recommend this video not be done or repeated by the public? But here is Jean Donaldson with her own dog. I am going to warn you, could be considered bestiality. It's disgusting, but she wants the dog to go to completion.
Okay.
So,
oh man.
Here
she goes. Sometimes that helps if I hold her head, gives her better.
She's tried to wipe this video off the internet completely. But this is sick, man. This is the type of dog training. You can't say no to the dog. You can't say no. So I want you to get this in your mind as a positive only force-free dog trainer. You can't say no to the dog. So if you have company over and your dog's doing this to your company, your friends and family, you can't stop the dog, because that would be positive punishment. Right? Because the dog, you're applying an aversive if you have to physically remove the dog off to stop an unwanted behavior, which is the humping of the leg. So that if you're talking science, this is science. So she's not doing that because she's applying positive reinforcement and force-free methods here.
You spin.
So I think we've seen enough here.
You can have another turn.
So what she does is, because she's rewarding the dog to hump her leg for doing the commands. This is sick, man. So, a little bit about Jean Donaldson. She started her own academy, the Academy for Dog Trainers. She's, I think, a co-owner for it. She talks about people using physical. There's an article here on the About Us thing. She says, I can't think of anybody who's very balanced about the use of physical coercion by teachers either. Even though it would likely be more motivating to use some electric shock on scholastic underperformers. Sure, the desire to get good grades and good careers that follow are okay motivators, but why limit ourselves to two measly quadrants, positive reinforcement and negative punishment, is probably what she's saying, when we can have the richness of four. We would, of course, have to give it some other name than electric shock, which is unfortunate baggage, maybe education or something. And then she goes into, this is where I say the positive only force-free dog trainers and supporters, this is on the Academy for Dog Trainers, her own, academy. And the Pet Professional Guild references Jean Donaldson on 4 times, even on their about stuff. So it's not like this is like some kind of, like when you're talking these positive only force-free top echelon dog trainers, of the positive only movement. This is where the local positive only or force free dog trainer who's harassing you on your business page or on your own personal page about dog training, this is where it comes from. They don't just wake up and then say, I'm a positive only force free person. I want to go harass a balanced dog trainer today. They get this brainwashed material into their head from Jean Donaldson here, with dogs doing this stuff with their own dog.
I have no shame.
And they get stuck in their head that this is cool and funny and positive only and force free, and that owners should be doing this. But meanwhile, on a separate article, they're writing this stuff where they're saying that there's shock collars and there's force and coercion by balanced dog trainers, you know, and they mix in the slight negative reinforcement that we use on remote collar or on the leash or on the prong collar. And this is where she goes with this, Jean. She goes, I and everybody I know also have extremist positions regarding shaking babies, hitting children, flogging military personnel who go AWOL, using shock on development disabled, amputating the digits of violent offenders, briefly choking employees under one's supervision if they are chronically late for work, waterboarding high school bullies, or rendering the dead into food for their starvation. There are, in theory, more moderate balanced positioning on these and many other issues. So she's going in to like that comparison, and that's where positively force-free dog trainers put people like myself, my colleagues, the military, and the police who use the same exact training tools and methods that I do, and my colleagues. They group us together into people who are shaking babies and severely hurting dogs. So we have a list of dog trainers. Some of them here I'm going to be going over too in another video. But let's go to her, Jean Donaldson, training with a gentle leader here. So has this dog with Dr. Ian Dunbar. So she's choking dog throughout this whole time here, down the stairs. And this is training in the middle. Now, anybody that's a professional dog trainer, I think Dr. Ian Dunbar walks in there. Anybody's a professional dog trainer would not put the dog in this position. If you've gone to my dog training, any of my private sessions or board and train programs, we're not putting the dog in this position right off the bat like this. The dog's not trained on the leash. So what Jean decides to do here is choke a dog for entertainment for the video over and over again until the dog responds. And Dr. Ian Dunbar, the doctor, is allowing it as well. And she goes on to say that anybody that does these things should be put in prison. All right, she does it herself, though. So let's continue.
And I'm fairly strong.
Notice these dogs are all walking in choking themselves on these buckle collars and martingales. So they're using positive punishment and negative reinforcement the entire time you've watched 22 seconds so far.
It's taken pretty much everything I've got to...
Positive punishment. Seven, don't do that, don't do that. Dog, don't do that. It's just, you got to think of it that way.
I'm using
don't do
the
that.
pole now.
Choke you until you stop. Choke.
Give me a little bit of
remove air from your body until you stop.
So I'm doing kind of
so now she ties this.
Just so I don't literally get pulled off my feet.
And I think that this is somebody who wrote books on dog training.
She has worn a gentle leader before.
So let's put a gentle leader on the dog and just
she gets agitated.
Hope for the best. Let's just see if something like miraculously happens here.
Pretty well. There we go. All right. For me, it's critical to have the neck strap very snug so that you can have the nose strap loose. That the whole point here is that the nose strap is loose when the dog is not pulling, because then you get the opportunity of contrast. When the dog misbehaves, it lunges, it barks, it does whatever it's going to do that's going to make you tighten up, then there's going to be a contrast. You're going to tighten up, and the nose loop is going to press around the dog. He's going to feel that, and then that can be released to slack when the dog is behaving as you would like. That's the negative reinforcement. It's the
No,
power
no, 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 no.
on the side.
The negative reinforcement is when you are applying the aversive and removing the adversive to when the wanted behavior is completed. All right. Positive punishment is when you're applying an aversive to stop an unwanted behavior, which is the pulling. So let's get that straight here. And I suspect what I'm about to see is a ton of positive punishment.
From the lead, which is
And I
two
think
things.
that
One
this
is the lead,
person
one is the
runs an
negative
academy on
reinforcement.
dog
And so
training
if the
and writes
gentleman
books and
loop
gives
is
advice
always
on this
tight,
stuff.
It's really hard to say now you're right, now you're wrong, because when the dog is right, it's still applying pressure, and to me that's bordering on criminal. I mean, from a learning perspective, it's a squandering of such a valuable resource.
So
It's bordering on criminal. I mean, from a learning right, it's still applying pressure, and to me that's bordering on criminal. I mean,
well,
from a
I'm
learning
glad she's saying that because, I mean, I haven't seen much postings about her pointing out the Victoria Stilwell video with the Great Dane where that, according to her, would be criminal. Or Zach George. I don't see a lot of policing of their own. That's what part of this video is, this series is about, is maybe somebody should start policing this stuff and pointing it out because the damn canine organizations aren't doing it. They ain't doing it. I mean, the Pet Guild is saying she's great. Let's continue.
learning perspective, it's a squandering of such a valuable resource. Oh, so good, beauty, so excellent.
Whoa! And there it is, folks. I gotta get a picture of that one. Gosh. You literally can't make this stuff up, dude. So what we got here is positive punishment and hanging the dog at 2:05. Let's go back.
Enforcement. And so if the gentle leader loop is always tight, it's really hard to say now you're right, now you're wrong, because when the dog is right, it's still applying pressure, and to me that's bordering on criminal. I mean, from a learning perspective, it's a squandering of such a valuable resource.
I can't believe this is her own video.
So good, beauty, so excellent.
Whoa, positive punishment. This is not negative reinforcement, man. This is not negative reinforcement. This is positive punishment. She is purposely applying an aversive to stop an unwanted behavior, which is pulling towards that dog. Using a tool, according to Dr. Kamen, if she wants to argue with that veterinarian, that can cause severe neck and head injuries. Look at this. This is, I mean, again, I have to take another photo of this because people won't believe this, man. People will not, unless they don't want to see it. I would imagine force-free and positive-only dog trainers would be outraged, and Jean Donaldson's seminars would be canceled. Because they canceled Jeff Gelman's seminar because he threw a cotton bath towel at a dog that lasted 1 second. How many seconds that we're seeing on this edited video is she choking and hanging a dog? Let's continue.
Sit. Once she sits.
Now, negative reinforcement's applied for a sit.
Oh, so good. I'm pretty much doing it with my left hand only. I'm doing this, but I could do it with one hand.
Wow.
It's
Why? Here we go, applying pressure to the dog.
I'm pretty much doing it with my left hand only.
And any tools used, so like when you're using that pressure, because this tool is very aversive. It's very, very aversive. When you're applying that pressure, imagine me saying, well, what I'm doing here on the remote collar is I'm just hitting the button while the dog's sitting there. And then, I'm going to, and I've reached that type of level of aversiveness on the remote collar, you're probably looking at like a 10 to 30 range on a mini educator. So what I'm doing here is I'm just hitting a button to show you. Like, why would you do that?
but I could do it with one hand. It's night and day difference in terms of
So she
ease.
communicated the dog with
Try.
tension really
Daring
bad
to
for
go a
no
little bit
reason. And
closer.
she right there, this stuff you have to pay attention to
Pressure
from a
on,
professional
doing it
dog
with my
trainer
left hand only.
perspective.
You know, I'm
That
doing this, but I could do it
pop,
with one hand. It's night and
positive
day,
punishment.
night and day,
Why
difference in
so?
terms of ease.
She applied an aversive, watch,
Daring to go a little bit
right
closer.
there. She applied an
in terms of
aversive
ease.
to stop an unwanted
Try.
behavior, which is the
Daring to
pulling.
go a little
Boom.
bit closer. Beauty sit.
Again,
Pressure on.
she applied the positive punishment prior to asking for the negative reinforcement. Then she would probably use positive
Bit
reinforcement.
closer.
Watch. Boom,
Beauty
positive
sit.
punishment. You heard the dog cry. Watch the dog cry.
Try. Daring to go a little bit closer. Beauty sit.
You hear that?
Pressure on.
Look at the pressures up. Now this is negative reinforcement. All right.
Waiting for the SIT. Once it happens,
There it
pressure
is,
comes off.
boom.
What a good girl. And she's
Now
controlling
positive
herself. As you can see,
reinforcement.
the leash is loose.
But any dog trainer that has any real thought to the process of dog training would teach the dog this stuff prior to putting the dog in this position. Right? So she put the dog in this position so she can purposely show you that she is applying negative reinforcement and positive punishment and hurting the dog. She wanted to put that in the video. Like she wanted to put the dog humping. This dog is not ready for this yet. We can clearly see it.
And she gets double.
Now she gets the
small
positive
treat
reinforcement.
And a small hello.
Now, Dr. Ian Dunbar, I believe that's him holding this leash, the constant choking with the buckle collar. I don't understand why they think that's a safe tool. And again, Dr. Kamen says it's not, but it's this. So the whole time I'm going to talk to you, I'm putting this pressure around my neck, just like Dr. Ian Dunbar is training a dog right now. And then I released it. And now I'm going to put some pressure and use positive punishment like Dr. Ian Dunbar did just
And then we
now.
can go on our merry way. Let's go. So good.
Man,
Who's so good?
not good. Who's so good? That video's not good. And where's it at? Pet Professional Guild. And this is what I'm talking about. On their petprofessionalguild.com, coalitions, the ban remote collar, they'll call the word shock collar. Petitions the ban collars, the shock collars in Canada. They'll use the word shock. They won't use remote communication. And then you got Jean Donaldson listed here on her nonsense of dog training. So tons of aversive dog training in the video that we could find on her dog training. There's not many. So, you know, we do have this. If you want to consider this dog training.
A little paint. Oh, she wants another go. All right. I can get some smashing obedience for this, by the way. You gonna?
So that's what we got there, folks. Stay tuned. I'm doing another video. So far, it's really difficult to find somebody that calls himself a positive reinforcement only or a positive. All dog trainers are positive reinforcement trainers, but the ones that put the term only or force free, you can't really find any. And the ones they lack videos of it, and you won't see many doctors post any videos. Like Ilana Reisner, there's no videos. I'm gonna go through the names here and see if I can get any videos of them dog training. And if I find good ones, like I did on the Dr. Ian Dunbar video I did, his trainer wasn't like bad, but she used negative reinforcement and positive punishment, and that's a fact, and it's backed by the science and the scientific video that she posted. So stay tuned. I am gonna continue this series.